Every day at Wheatland Electric, we've got people working on the lines. They're working to deliver reliable and cost-effective electricity to our members. Welcome to this first edition of Who's on the Line, a podcast made for and by us, the people behind our cooperative. Tune in to each edition to explore the great people and the work we do to keep our lines running. Here with our manager of member services and corporate communications, Allie Conine. Allie, you want to say hi?
Hi.
Hi. And we've also got our new member services and key accounts manager, Mary Hoisington.
Hey.
Hey, Mary. Mary, you are one of our new employees. When did you start at Wheatland?
I started at Wheatland on August 30th.
Yeah, and where are you located?
I'm located in Great Bend.
That's awesome. So we have just gotten our Cram the Van season 8, the 8th consecutive year that we've had our annual food drive. We just got done making all our deliveries of our cash and our cans over to 11 food banks across our Southwest and South Central Kansas territories. This is my second year with Cram the Van, but for Allie, what number is this for you?
This was number 7.
Oh, wow. So you weren't here for the very first year that we did Cram the Van.
I was not.
And what year was that?
2014.
Okay, awesome. So, Allie, can you tell us a little bit about why Wheatland Electric does Cram the Van? And for some people who might be listening who don't even know, maybe they've heard about Cram the Van, but they don't know exactly what it is.
Well, I'll talk a little bit about why we started Cram the Van. In 2014, we were brainstorming and trying to create kind of a community outreach initiative centered around the 7th cooperative principle, which is concern for the community. And we had a red Chevy fleet van in our fleet. So that's why it's called Cram the Van. And we go around to different locations across our service territory and collect non-perishable food items for our local food banks.
And a lot of people don't know how expansive our service territory is. So people in Great Bend know we're there. People in Tribune know we're there. People in Harper, Kansas, which is south of Wichita, for those in Southwest Kansas who might not know, our service territory is very expansive. And so our Cram the Van food drive, which we do every fall, we serve 11 local food banks. Our cash and can donations go to 11 local food banks. And we do this because of that 7th cooperative principle that you were talking about.
Yes.
Concern for community. Mary, how familiar were you with Cram the Van before you started working here earlier this year?
I was familiar with Cram the Van in Great Bend simply because that's where I lived, and I also helped with the Women's Expo. And a few years ago, Wheatland started partnering with us to do collections. Prior to that, we would collect for the food bank, but we thought this would have been a better partnership and a chance to include Wheatland with what we were doing there. So I have been familiar with it, but I truly had no idea how many events and how many miles I would put on my car this year.
And the van.
Traveling to events to help out.
So I will say that Mary, she mentioned that she started August 30th. Cram the Van runs September and October, so she really had some baptism by fire. She was not in the office much these past 2 months because we hosted so many local events, football games, just the prep work. I think it was, you knew about Cram the Van, but it was a lot more than you had anticipated.
It absolutely was, and I really feel fortunate to see this side of the Cram the Van event, and I think the more we can share with our members what exactly it means to us and how much it matters to us and it matters to the community, I think the more involved our community will be with each passing year.
So our theme this year for Cram the Van, and let me backtrack for a second. Allie, Did we have a theme in 2014, 2015 when you were here in the early years?
We did not have a theme. It was Cram the Van.
Yeah.
So I think that's another way that we've evolved over the years. I'm just trying to bring a little bit more excitement from the members and our employees.
Yeah.
Trying to get people geared up for Cram the Van.
Yeah, so our theme this year was Yes, We Can, which is very much a rallying cry and really reminds us why we do Cram the Van every year. We talked about the 7th cooperative principle, concern for community. And the coolest part about having another record-setting year and raising almost 45,000 pounds of food is that our communities really did show us that, yes, we can. We can do this. And obviously, for those who might not have got yet, there's obviously a play on words. But this year, we just got done with our 8th consecutive year, and we raised another record-setting total of cash and can donations. Allie, do you want to tell us how much we raised?
We collected 44,576 pounds of food, and that's including our cash and can donations.
Yeah, and people were very generous with cash this year. At the events that we were at, everyone received a hot dog or hamburger meal in exchange for their cash or can donation, and people were pretty generous with their cash, which was really great to see.
When I was totaling the numbers, that was the first thing I noticed was the amount of cash donations that we collected this year. I mean, it was at least 2 to 3 times more than we have in the past.
Mm-hmm. And this year, we had so many events. We were at football games. We were at community events like the Holcomb Longhorn Festival. There were communities like Conway Springs that had their own events that they held to raise cash and can donations among their schools. What was it like that first year that you were here for Cram the Van? We didn't do as much as we did this past year.
No, that first year, if you look back, it's very, very minimal compared to what we do now. We were just, at the local grocery store over the lunch hour collecting cash or can donations. And every year we've added more events and, we try to keep thinking of new ideas each year.
Allie, can you tell us a little bit about the school competitions? I don't think a lot of people know that a lot of our local school districts are involved in helping us raise cash and can donations as well.
Yeah, so we actually partner with multiple school districts across our service territory. The Great Bend School Competition, which is sponsored by His Sherman Wealth Management, started in 2017, and it continues to be the largest school competition that we have. We also partner with Scott City, Conway Springs, Greeley County, which is Tribune, and then Holcomb School Districts. So those schools compete amongst each other, and every year they keep collecting more, and the competition's friendly, but they keep collecting more.
They do, and in return for collecting cash and can donations, in Great Bend they received a total of $1,000 cash prize from His Sherman Wealth Management, and then in our other districts, Scott City, Greeley County Schools,
Holcomb,
and in Conway Springs they received $500 cash prizes, went to first place.
Yes,
and those came straight from Wheatland, from your cooperative.
Correct.
Mary, you were pretty involved with the Great Bend School Competition. Can you tell me a little bit about what that experience was like for you?
In Great Bend, we work with USD 428 along with Central Kansas Christian Academy and Holy Family School. And all of the schools in USD 428 participate, every elementary school, the middle school, and the high school. I think that His Sherman Wealth Management's sponsorship has been very helpful in helping those kids have a little bit more motivation to try to win the competition. I was really surprised at just how much was collected. The schools themselves, it was close to 5 tons of food donated to our local food bank. And the winner of our competition, which was Central Kansas Christian Academy, averaged over 22 pounds of food per student brought in. So it really was a huge competition. We rely on our linemen. We sent out 3 crews to collect from the schools and spent all morning one day collecting and taking to the food bank after we weighed the food. There was a lot more to it than I actually thought there was going to be, especially in the volume.
Yeah, we definitely use our muscles a lot during the van season every fall.
Oh, definitely. And that is at every event we where we do collections, we, take that to the local food banks. So it's a great competition, and having the schools involved and getting the kids engaged in that type of community service at a younger age really will help, make future citizens that are involved in their community and look after other people.
That's awesome. Yeah.
I think that is a great point. I mean, I think the kids are probably the ones that are making some of their parents aware of what we're doing just because of the school competitions.
I agree. And it's so heartwarming to see those kids get involved and the schools get involved, because we're all members of the cooperative, and it's very much members helping members. That's what Cram the Van is all about.
Definitely. And I think every year we see the generosity of our members. It continues to just be more and more each year, and obviously we couldn't do it without them.
Absolutely. Allie, you mentioned this year we raised almost 45,000 pounds of food, which includes our cash and canned donations. Some of those funds come from the golf tournament that we hold every year, our Co-ops Care charity golf tournament this year, which was held at Southwind in mid-September.
This was the third year for the Co-ops Care charity golf tournament. Wheatland's actually had a golf tournament for a number of years, but just within the last 3 years, we've really decided to dedicate those funds to Cram the Van, and the support that we've received from, members, our vendors, is just astonishing. We collected over $11,000 from the Co-ops Care charity golf tournament this year, that
was fantastic.
Yes. I mean, we couldn't have asked for a better day. We had 30 teams participate, countless employees that came out that day and were supportive. I mean, it really is a group effort.
Here in member services, including some of the people that you're hearing from today, we're involved with a lot of the publicizing and promotions, but there's no way that we could pull off raising 45,000 pounds of food, including cash, across 300 miles of service territory without the help of the whole co-op and the communities that we serve.
That is very true. I mean, every event that we host in each of the communities, our member services department relies on the linemen, the CSRs. I mean, we could not do any of these events without their extra hands. So we are truly appreciative of the support that we have from the employees and board members.
This year, we usually end our Cram the Van season with what we call the fall finale in Scott City. So this was my first year with Fall Finale, and it was so awesome to have such a cool event in Scott City. We decorated pumpkins, the kids did. We had s'mores, hot cider, hot chocolate, and then the very coolest part, the helicopter candy drop. So Allie, your kids came. We had lots of kids in Scott City. I brought my son as well, and it was so much fun. It's such a cool thing to be able to bring that back this year after a hiatus last year.
I think the Scott City community was really looking forward to the fall finale. Obviously, the candy drop is a big drawing point, but we have so many other things going on during the fall finale. We just get a lot of community support.
Allie, do you want to talk a little bit more about what Cram the Van means to you every year and why we can?
As Shajia mentioned earlier, this is the 7th year that I've been doing Cram the Van, and I think each year it becomes more evident that it's not just, about the 7th cooperative principle, concern for the community. I think it really shows the members of the community, they're invested, they want to support their local food bank. So every year, we see the same faces at our events, and they're bringing their cash or canned donations, and we just, we see that they're invested.
Yeah, and I think you mentioned seeing some of the same faces. This is the second year that I've been able to make some of the deliveries that we make after we collect all our food and weigh all our food. And it's just really heartwarming to see how grateful a lot of the people that work at, and I say work, a lot of these people volunteer at these food banks. They're working day in and day out to help their community members. And what we do at the end of the year is just a small part of the enormous amount of work that they do. And so, it reminds us, even at the end of a busy season, it reminds me anyway, why
we do what we do, why we cram the van.
Yeah, why we cram the van every year. And, we roll up our sleeves and we get it done. And
very true. I mean, I think that we've kind of established a relationship with all of these local food banks. When I get ready to call them at the end of the year and, schedule that day for delivery, and you can hear the excitement in their voices. I mean, typically this time of the year, the food banks are not as full. They've got their Thanksgiving baskets that they're trying to get ready. So I think, not that they come to expect it, but it's definitely, we're filling a need that they have.
Yeah, that's the best part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So another aspect that we added just last year was the ability for members to make an online donation to their local food bank. You know, we have a lot of members that might not be able to make it to their local event, but they're able to go online and make a monetary donation to their local food bank. And last year we collected about $1,100 in donations, and this year it was over $2,600. So we've had a really strong showing from members in those monetary donations. So I think that's our goal moving forward, is, you know, to continue to think of ways to get members involved and, you know, obviously keep breaking records.
It's been 8 years for Cram the Van, and you know, I don't know what Cram the Van's going to look like 8 years from now, but as I said, you know, it being my second year, it's been a lot of fun, and it's so cool to be able to do something that supports the communities that we serve.
You know, I think that Mary mentioned, you know, it shows how much the members are invested. But I think it shows how much we continue to be invested, as, you know, obviously this is our job, but we have to, you know, I think we're passionate about what we do, and each year we want to collect more. You know, last year we collected over 32,000 pounds of food, and that was the most we'd ever collected. And
that's right. And it was during COVID too, so we weren't really sure what the response would be that year.
Right. And, you know, every year we are a little hesitant. Are we going to be able to collect more than last year? But our members keep showing up and keep making those donations. And, you know, next year we're going to try to think of more ways to get people involved.
Awesome. Well, thank you guys so much for joining me on Who's on the Line. It'll be a while before our members hear about Cram the Van again, but we'll start planning next year, and hell, who knows, maybe it'll be another record-setting year.
Thank you.
Thanks.